Time now for the Sunday Roundtable. Joining us this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Thank you both for being here. All right, you heard Mayor Wu. We have to get right to the big news of the past week, Rachel Rollins. The blast radius here is pretty extensive. She was supported by, obviously, President Biden, Vice President Harris, both Massachusetts Senators Warren and Markey. There were 2 votes in the Senate, where the vice president had to break a tie to push her through. How much damage was done? Marianne, let's start with you.
The damage is on Rachel Rollins, and it was self-inflicted. She betrayed her oath of office. She betrayed the rule of law. She betrayed the people who worked for her, the people who supported her, the people who believed in her, and her meteoric rise the end of it is like a Greek tragedy. So when you look at all of this, it is all on her. And for her lawyer to say this was just process fouls, that is not true. This is far more than that. Her political career is over, and her legal career may be over too.
Rob?
I agree with Marianne, the damages to Rollins. But our elected officials who appointed her, recommended her, they should have known that having an ideologue as a prosecutor was always a bad idea, and it's predestined to failure. That's what Rachel Rollins was. She proved it in office. Now she's lied under oath and covered it up, and I agree that no more elected office for her.
I want to push back, though, on Marianne, though, a little bit. So the Democratic Party got behind her, and she's accused, if the report is true, of using her power in the Department of Justice, for political gain. How is that different than what Donald Trump did?
It's not. Or Kellyanne Conway, who has more Hatch Act violations than all of us have legs, arms, and fingers. Okay? There are a lot of people who do this. It doesn't make it right. And but for the Inspector General report, we don't know about any of this.
All right. Well, talks on the debt limit are about to resume, with default looking less likely. Some Democrats are slamming President Biden for negotiating with Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Massachusetts Senators Warren and Markey called on the president to invoke the 14th Amendment to prevent default. Do you think that's over the top, Rob?
Well, yes, it's over the top. Let's face it, there is always a deal on these things, okay? Going back to the 1990s, when push comes to shove, they make a deal. But the debt ceiling matters. I mean, there's a reason it's there, to try and put a lid on federal spending. And as bad as federal spending is, as much as we're swimming in debt, it would be much worse without this. I applaud Republicans for trying to push spending cuts or spending limits as part of this.
All right, Marianne?
You know what's over the top? Republicans who are trying to tank the economy in this country, around the world, catastrophically, just for political points. And by the way, you shouldn't hold the debt ceiling hostage, especially to a guy, Kevin McCarthy, who doesn't even have the votes to get it done. I mean, come on. He doesn't have the votes to get any of this done.
Well, the House Republicans passed. They passed.
But he doesn't have the
votes.
votes.
They're the only person who's passed anything.
But on this next vote, the only one who could deliver the votes are all the Democrats. They only need 5 Republicans to pass it. Kevin McCarthy doesn't even have half of his conference. So that's the problem there. And all roads lead to Massachusetts. Warren and Markey calling for the 14th Amendment. But don't miss the discharge petition. Richie Neal, who was here last week, if they do that, that goes through Ways and Means and Richie Neal and Jim McGovern on rules and Catherine Clark.
Here's the thing. Republicans usually lose on this politically. No question about it. You're right. It doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do.
All right, let's switch to politics now. And not exactly breaking news, but Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to announce his presidential run finally this week. But recent polls show him well behind, 20, 30 points. Donald Trump, as the Republican base remains solidly Trump. Will anything change that, Marianne?
When you're getting beaten daily by Mickey Mouse at the Disney Daily Parade and you're 20 points behind Donald Trump, good luck. Wait till Trump gets him on a stage. He's got no shot.
Rob?
Here's the thing. The trend lines aren't good for DeSantis, but look back. Democratic side, 2003, Howard Dean was running away with it. In 2008, on the Republican side, Rudy Giuliani running away with it.
I would argue Donald
Jeb
Trump
Bush
was a different candidate than those,
He is different because he's an incumbent, but there's still a long way to go. DeSantis is getting in. Tim Scott is getting in. I find it hard to believe that a 78-year-old and an 82-year-old being on the ballot, that something is not going to change to shake up that dynamic.
But don't you think that Trump has a lot more, for lack of a better word, charisma than someone like Ron DeSantis, and that actually works in his favor?
He's got money, he's got charisma, but he's also a train wreck, and 2/3 of Republicans don't want him as the nominee. But he is in a dominant position, no question about it.
He's a puncher, and DeSantis has a glass jaw. And he's got 38% of the Republican Party. That wins you the nomination.
DeSantis is unproven. The question is Trump or the field. DeSantis is part of the field.